Alright guys, Papa Pepper once again. More 50 days to understanding the end times more accurately. We're continuing along with the train of thought of two witnesses here. So this is day 37, two witnesses, part 2. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Zephaniah chapter 1, verses 14 to 15. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Isaiah chapter 13, verses 6 and 9. Here we undoubtedly have two witnesses that testify the day of the Lord is a time of God's wrath. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day, for the day of the Lord. That's Isaiah chapter 2, verses 11 to 12a. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 17. Two witnesses testify that the Lord alone shall be exalted during the day of the Lord. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Matthew chapter 24, verse 15. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. Mark chapter 13, verse 14. Twice Jesus refers to the abomination of desolation and points to the prophet Daniel in order for us to gain more understanding. This means that God uses this phrase and defines it. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Daniel chapter 11, verse 36. Whoso opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Two witnesses confirm that the Antichrist will exalt himself. So point number 1, two witnesses confirm the day of the Lord is a time of God's wrath. Point number 2, two witnesses testified of the sole exaltation of the Lord during the day of the Lord. Point number 3, two witnesses record Jesus using the phrase abomination of desolation. Point number 4, two witnesses record the Antichrist's exaltation of himself. So we'll continue along the same train of thought for a couple of days here, just re-looking at some of these scriptures and seeing we have this repeated message coming across in all of these different little points, and when we combine them we understand a fuller picture. So appreciate you guys joining along so far. Be blessed. Papa out.